Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. Today, we are in the double digits of Dr. Stone, Season 3, Episode 10. The key to success is the earring to science. So Senku is able to use a copper coil, which I don't fully understand how this works, and some metal, in which he can use it as a receiver piece. Basically, it means that Kohaku, or whoever is wearing this little receiver piece that is disguised as an earring, is able to hear Senku through the cell phone that they made. So at the very least, they have a way to communicate with each other. The idea is to give it to them and give them directions. Unfortunately, Kohaku, Genro, and Amaryllis have no way to communicate with them. They just have a way to listen. We're walking into the inner kingdom here. Basically, we're splitting up into Team Science and Team Spy. And there is quite a bit of fan service, yet again, to Kohaku. There's been a lot of that this season. Which, I'll be honest, I'm not complaining about. And I'm sure a lot of you aren't complaining about either. All the fan service. All the fan service. So, that's the idea, is basically use the earpiece to give them directions in order to tell them where to go, what to get. But the thing is, we need a way to communicate back to Senku's team. And how are we going to do that? That is also another question that will be answered throughout the course of this episode. So, Kohaku asks Amaryllis to basically cause some sort of distraction. This is, also the thumbnail, of course. Who can forget about the thumbnail? So, Gen decides to say, hey, if you can hear us, do a cute pose, at which point Kohaku thinks of Suika, because Suika is cute. So, she does a cute little Suika pose, and the guards really think nothing of it. Move on with their lives, and she's like, I'm going to get you back for that later, Gen. I promise you. So, communication is acquired, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, according to Senku, even though I don't fully understand how this works, but somehow the copper coil picks up the signal. I guess it's something like wireless charging, because I know that's how wireless charging works too, with a copper signal. So they can hear them, at the very least. Meanwhile, in the Inner Palace, Kohaku wants to know, what's going on and where things are. So in order to do this, we need a distraction. And that distraction is going to be Amaryllis, which I'm going to skip past a bunch of this. So here we go. We have this big, giant guard dude destroying stuff. And then Amaryllis is like, oh my god, your muscles are so big and beautiful. Oh my god, they're just so beautiful. And then that is how she distracts the guards, in order to, give Kohaku time to look around. And she locates something that we learn about a little bit later in the episode. Meanwhile, while this is happening, Senku is trying to think of a way to capture the petrification beam, and obviously it needs to be a distance thing, so his thoughts are drones. So, early in the episode, when I was skipping past some images, which we will briefly go back to, he is making an electromagnet in order to create a motor to power this drone. So they're going to have some sort of flying thing. I'm not sure how they're going to control it, per se, maybe a rope or something. But they're going to make a drone in order to get the petrification beam and obviously not get petrified themselves. That's what the plan is. So they work on making a motor, and they also test it by basically making a miniature race car. Gen then realizes that this is a good way to communicate, so he makes it into what everybody will be familiar with, which is a rat. He disguises it as a rat. However, something that we learn is they don't really have a way to communicate, being that none of them know how to write. So Genro had an opportunity to learn how to write, and didn't. He was like, nah, I'm not friggin' learning that nerd language crap. I want to play with my acorn on a stick, or whatever the heck he was playing with. Um, and of course, the two girls immediately realize that that's how they communicate. And Genro's like, "Oh my God, they're kind of scary, a little bit two-faced. One second they're cute, the next second they're like, holy crap, evil. We're getting it done." Uh, so Kohaku then proceeds to rip part of her dress in order to um, get a message to them. She rips part of it. You get to see a little bit of more fan service going on there in order, for this. And then she bites her thumb, reminiscent of Naruto biting his thumb for the summoning jutsu. Um, that's kind of what it reminds me of, kind of exact same way. And of course it has to be Kohaku because Emeraldis is not going to do that. She's too girly, and Genro's kind of too girly too. So there you have it. Kohaku is the most man of the group. Do with that information as you will. They send it back to Suika and the gang very quickly, but it's just a bunch of kind of drawings of crap. Well, what I view as crap. There's a splat. There is Hoga with a spear. There's a motor-looking thing, and then there's what looks like an ice cream cone. Um, and Genro actually figures it out pretty quick what they're trying to tell him. Sorry, Gen, not Genro. Gen figures it out pretty quick, but it looks like Gen was helping write the message as well. Senku has no idea what this means. Nobody has any idea what this means. But Gen figured it out, and he was like, think of it in science terms. And then Senku's clock starts ticking. He was like, think of it in science terms. I wonder what that means. And they'd end up discovering that it means that they found platinum. All the pieces kind of go together. Like the first piece is supposed to be plastic. The second piece is like a giant splat. Maybe I think it had something to do with wine. The Hoga and the spear had something to do with part of it. And then the motor also had something to do with it, like heat or warmth. That's how they described it, putting it in terms, even though I would have never got that. Not a chance in hell that I would have figured that one out. But Gen figured it out. They have platinum. They have unlimited revival fluid now. Somehow Senku can use the platinum in order to help create the nitric acid. I'm not sure if it's like a byproduct of it or something, putting it in water or electrifying it. I'm not really sure how that works. But it's buried under this giant tree, the Master's tree. We don't actually get to see the Master. We get to see the Minister go to the Master in this episode. We see that there's like this kind of woman trying to make proper women out of all of these mistresses or wives that have been chosen for the Master. I'm really not sure how that's going to work, but basically she's an older woman in charge of making sure everybody has the correct posture, you know, uh, manners, things along those lines. I'm forgetting the terminology for it. But prim and proper. So that's pretty much where we end it. So the Sozu capsule is buried under this tree. The tree has actually grown around it over time, but she can recognize the round object underneath it. So at least we know where that is. I don't know if we're going to get platinum next or not, but at the very least we know where it is. So that is a positive. So we end the episode off with this fist, a miracle. I am assuming that means there's going to be some sort of a fight next episode. At least that's my guess. Kohaku is very kind of headstrong. I'm going to fight first. But there are a lot of strong people. A lot of strong guards. Only the strongest would guard the Master, which makes sense. And I don't really see her being able to defeat all of them. Maybe a couple, maybe a handful. But making a giant scene is not what this is about. She's part of the spy team. You have to kind of be sneaky. But the main goal is to get the petrification beam. I believe we only have 4 episodes left. Or, sorry, 2 episodes left, I should say, of this season. I'm assuming that's probably how it's going to end. I'm not sure if we'll capture the petrification beam next episode or not. But I'm pretty sure before the core is ended in the next episode or 2, we will be getting a hold of the petrification beam at the very least. Or we'll see, we'll end on a cliffhanger. We will see the master. I'm really not sure how that's all going to play out. Overall, not a bad episode. Solid 7 out of 10. I give a lot of Doctor Stone 7 out of 10s. It's a good show. I like it. I enjoy watching it. But it's not like one of those shows where like I would rewatch it again, again, and again. It's something where it's enjoyable the first time around, but you don't really need to watch it again. If that's my personal preference. Sure, there's a couple episodes here and there that are that I would say are 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 basically means I'm gonna watch it again. That's kind of my grading system. 7 out of 10 means it's good. You know, Probably not going to watch it again. 8 and 9 out of 10, possible rewatch. Not necessarily a rewatch, but possible rewatch. And then lower than that, you start getting kind of bad. So there you have it. That's where I'm going to end it. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, leave a like, comment down below what you want to see for future anime and cartoon related content. Stay tuned for Sunday for more Demon Slayer. Have a good one.